police, and many more thousands in the hands of American citizens, American-born citizens. But that one murder is significant. Why? Because it actually corresponds to a policy agenda that we're trying to design here to do propaganda over endlessly. Of course, when it's ICE that kills random American citizens that are protesting against ICE activities, that are kidnapping 600,000 plus American neighbors, you know, living on U.S. soil, some of which are documented, some of which is documentation is expired, you know, that sort of thing. Then it's fine. It's just, you know, it's the cost of doing business.
Do that. Barack Obama had 57 deaths on his watch and never talked about it in those incidences. You're nodding. You know this. That's a fact, right? Never talked about it.
No,
5 billion people.
Bro, this is supposed to be a panel. Dude, this is supposed to be a panel where she's supposed to ask questions and hear what their perspective is. And it turned into a debate because she hates what some of the panelists are saying. That is awesome. Lady, this is not a lecture. This is a panel. What are you doing? Bring Frank Luntz in.
Illegally
Barack Obama was the deportingest president we ever had.
Deporting us. I'm going to let you take your vocabulary and challenge it that way. All right, let's talk patriotism in a different way. The U.S. hockey team. Did you guys watch that game? Show of hands. Oh, my gosh, it was incredible. I lived in the state of hockey in Minnesota for a while, so maybe I'm overly joyed. But talk about patriotism. They are now going.
Yeah, bring it back. Bring it back. Remember, we want gold. Come on, hockey. We won gold. Remember that. Doesn't that make you feel better? I know you're talking about irrelevant shit like, you know, cost of living, ICE murders happening in American cities and stuff. But like, remember hockey? Hockey was sick, right?
To the White House to see this president taking some criticism for being invited to the State of the Union tonight. I want to go around and just get an idea. Kevin, I haven't come to you. Your thoughts?
Well, I think, again, it comes back to decorum. If you're invited to come to the State of the Union, to the White House, you have to set politics aside. It's just the way we should function in this country, and decorum has been in check for a while, I think. So I think it's okay that they go. You know, there shouldn't be a debate about that.
Like, what is this conversation? They asked, like, what are some of your top line issues? Okay. And everyone's universally saying affordability. And in order to land this plane and avoid a plane crash, she's like, well, what about people yelling at the hockey team for visiting the White House, going to the State of the Union address? It's like, who cares?
I think it really comes back to our start of our conversation, which is about the economy. Everybody's focused.
Say Jack Hughes or don't come back to Canada. Listen, I am an American, okay? So I will say, as much as I love Canada, America did actually do the damn thing. They were the underdogs. I love an underdog story. I apologize, but, you know, they did it, bro. Turned this shit off. It's so ass.
What are we going to do about that? Healthcare, food, everything is going
And
up.
he'll get to that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the hockey team. Maria.
I think my favorite part.
Yeah, let's get the entire panel's take on the hockey team.
Towards the end, I just caught a clip of it. I did not actually get to watch the game. Was when they went and got the children onto their teammates who had passed away from a drunk driver. They made sure that those kids were actually involved and made that a huge part of them, you know, that just said that we're one, we're together, we're here. And I think it's a great thing that they're going to the White House for this. Outside, we do have a lot of sports, and it's a big part of America.
I work for Canadian Border Patrol. You ain't coming back after that, brother. I am not even remotely worried about you because I know there's going to be like 8 Asian baddies that are also working next to you, and I will rizz them up to be able to enter the country with ease. Yeah. How much did you guys like Kash Patel, the FBI director, chugging beers with the boys?
Whether it's football, whether it's baseball, hockey, absolutely. If you're invited, you should go.
Dylan.
Well, first of all, what a game. And
I know, right?
Second of all, I think this...
Can you explain why you're a pro-sex worker again? It's not a gotcha. It's a genuine question because it feels a bit out of place for the rest of your commentary. It's not out of place for the rest of my commentary. It's labor. All labor should be protected.
Back to an earlier point, may dampen some of the ability for the Democrats to protest because we're bringing in American patriots, and I think that you know, to celebrate America, especially on the eve of having won such a big game, which should unite us left and right.
Do you think it will, Jay?
I don't think it will unite us, but I think that they're...
In that room, you don't think they'll get a standing O?
Oh, I'm sure they will. I'm talking about the country at large. I don't think it will unite us, and but in that room, yes. And I don't have any issue with them going. As mentioned, like, if you're invited to the State of the Union, and you can put the politics aside, if you have adverse, go. If you cannot because you are so inclined or you feel that that is your patriotic duty to not go, don't. But I don't have any feeling either way to
Come on, man.
Or not.
All right, show of hands, who's watching the State of the Union tonight? Oh my goodness. You know, well, that brought you all together. Look at that, everybody agreed on that. Great to have you all. Thank you. Voters' Voice is always a pleasure.
Thank God we got united on the hockey situation. New CNN poll shows record low Trump approval ratings. Now, I love that CNN is forcing their anchors and shit to do these like vertical videos in the age of Twitter where they're like desperately trying to get Jake Tapper on to do like vertical videos. It's hilarious to me. It's got to be humiliating for these guys.
New CNN exclusive poll shows Donald Trump hitting a record low job approval rating with independents. It is a huge warning sign for the president and his party. 26% of independents approve of the job Donald Trump is doing. That's the lowest score he's gotten with that group, not just this term, but across his first term as well. That's not the only rough number he's facing in this poll as he prepares to address the country at the State of the Union address this week. Nearly 7 in 10 Americans say that he is not focused on the right priorities. Nearly 6 in 10 Americans say his policies would put the country in the wrong direction. And he's losing support among key demographic groups that helped him win the White House in 2024. Among Latino voters, his job approval rating is down 19 points in just 1 year. Among young voters, 18 to 34-year-olds, down 16 points in job approval in just 1 year. And that precipitous 15-point decline.
Chat, is this good? I can't tell. Is this a good thing? Like, is he doing fine? I can't tell.
Among independents. His overall job approval rating is at 36%, also on the low end of Donald Trump's history as president. And what do Americans want to hear from him in the State of the Union? Overwhelmingly, 57% say they want most to hear from him on the economy and cost of living. No other issue comes close.
She's a conspiratorial, evil person.
Dog, you built this. My brother in Christ, you built a sandwich. You hired her. Enjoy it.
If there's an afterlife, I don't pretend to be the judge and jury, but I know you're not in it.
It's so goddamn good. Oh, I wished for times like this. I'll lower the bit rate to 5,000, so it's like a little bit easier to watch. Time to pay that 100K for fiber, big dog? Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
President Trump says that Kirk has died after he was shot from a nearby building.
After being shot at Utah Valley University.
The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
I didn't even get to give him a kiss goodbye.
That young man, I forgive him.
The download is so ass, it's not gonna download any videos. God damn it, dude. They gotta fix ASAP. God damn it. I can't believe, unbelievable. Unbelievable. This country is embarrassing. I hate this.
Take your time.
Erica Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
That her husband tragically was murdered and throwing merch out.
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Zionists, the Prime Minister of Israel, all lied through their teeth about Charlie Kirk.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
All the heroes are on this story. Is it effing a little bit? I just dabbed myself with sauce in my hand because I was trying to kill a fly. But anyway, Candace Owens made this video series. I will be seated watching it. I am very excited to watch it. However, A lot of people are not so excited, it seems.
You go yourself.
One of those people that's not excited is Dan Bongino.
You demonic scum. This just can't be what this movement is. And if it is, I just don't want any part of it. Erica didn't choose this, man. Imagine sitting there in your house and you find out from Twitter or, I don't know, a text or a phone call or that your husband was just shot in the neck for the entire world to see social media at a public event. I can't imagine that. I know you can't either. Then you got to go through this. Then you got to absolute lunatics sending her emails. You did it. You go yourself. You demonic scum. For as much as I hate what just happened, I wish ill on no one, and everyone should restrain their emotions from the other side because they are not on our side. Once you go down the road of violence, there's no turning back. And I'm sorry if the language distracts from you, but I can think of no other New York way to say it than you mother. I don't pretend to be the judge and jury, but I know you're not in it.
There is a side that is.
It's so funny that all the people that are mad at Candace Owens are no motion whatsoever. Guys, I know it's laggy. Okay, there's going to be a little lag. I know. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do.
Me?
Ben Shapiro came out and said Candace Owens is evil. We'll be looking at that.
And this is
too.
why one of the things that I'm going to really focus on over the next 9 or so months is making sure that the right, to whatever extent we can hold this wide tent MAGA thing together, we'll go ahead and do it. That the ex-libs will find common cause with the more traditional conservatives, and that you could have a party that would bring in, mushroom-eating Joe Rogan that would still be on the same side as, I don't know, somebody like evangelical Charlie Kirk, who unfortunately is no longer with us. That is the challenge for all of us. So this, I thought, was it's kind of depressing, to be totally honest with you, but Seth Dillon from the Babylon Bee, he put this up. What would Charlie Kirk have to say about this? And what would he think of his so-called friends who can't summon the courage to say it for him? And what he's showing you there is that Candace Owens this morning released a new documentary, or at least the trailer for this new documentary called Bride of Charlie. And in it, she is, if not outright saying, certainly putting innuendo that Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, had something to do with the death of Charlie Kirk. She also, in the last couple of weeks, has called Erica Kirk a lesbian groomer. She has said, the most absolutely psychotic things. And the only reason I'm even bringing this up, because I have no desire to talk about her, and I know that that's what she wants more than anything else, is that how are we going to keep this thing together as a certain portion of the right is going nuts? That is going to be the challenge.
Every part of the story is
conspiracy
about Israel. That's it. Candace Owens is going crazy mode, but Candace Owens has always been crazy. The only reason why they're mad is because not only is she being crazy, but she's also getting people to be anti-Israel, getting the right to be anti-Israel. Okay? What's different about Candace Owens currently is that she's also anti-Israel. Okay? Make no mistake. That is the problem. Of course, it's not great that she's shitting on Erica Kirk or whatever, but the real problem, the hidden underlying problem here that no one wants to admit is Israel. That's precisely the reason why Christopher Rufo, who spent years and years training the right to see halftime shows of civilizational threats, is now shocked that the right has become conspiracy-brained on slop. Christopher F. Rufo of the Manhattan Institute has the audacity to say, the guy who is we are going to use CRT, critical race theory, as a primary vehicle of animosity to drive voters to vote against the Democratic Party. The guy who highlighted the Haitians are eating cats and dogs conspiracy theories. The guy who's at the heart of so many of the modern right-wing conspiracy theories and racist vitriol is now mad that the right's collective brain is getting melted in a vat of slop, conspiracy, and algorithm chasing. An intelligent man will guard himself against all of it. I know from people who know Chris Rufo personally. I have talked to people who know Chris Rufo personally, who used to be friends with Chris Rufo, who have told me that he doesn't even Israel that much personally, but his boss certainly does. And that is the only reason why these guys are all super mad. They're super mad at Tucker Carlson. They're super mad at Candace Owens. They're super mad at conspiracy theories on the right. They all played a role. Not only did they play a role in Candace Owens becoming a household name, like Ben Shapiro personally played a role in that, but they all played a role in trafficking in conspiracy theories, not realizing that eventually there would be plenty of actors at a time when Israel is receiving unprecedented amounts of hate, okay? That at a time when, like, you know, the Israel method is like giving you an algorithmic boost in independent media circles, of course they were going to start shitting on Jews. It's so funny to me that these very same guys, yeah, Rufo is the godfather of paranoid conspiratorial fantasy, starting with his attack on the Race and Social Justice Initiative in Seattle, where as an expert witness, I helped prove his case had no, his friend had no case. The judge tossed it out. Rufo is exhibit A for how we got here. I need you to understand something. Chris Rufo would not give a about the anti-Semitic conspiracies, for the record. This is a guy whose wife is an undocumented immigrant, chat. He doesn't give a about anything. He only cares about the bag. It's his bosses that are panicking. Conservative Jews that work at the Manhattan Institute that are super pro-Israel are freaking the out about the right decoupling from Israel, especially younger right-wingers. That is the main cause of concern here. Do you understand? The main cause of concern is that anti-Semitism on the right, not anti-Semitism on the left, because that's whatever. The left is already anti-Israel, so no one gives a right? But anti-Semitism on the right is causing young American Republicans to despise Israel. For the longest time, no matter how much people hated Israel on the right, or not Israel, sorry, no matter how much people on Jews on the right, and there were plenty who did, with the exception of a couple prominent conservative individuals, they never touched Israel. They never said anything mean about Israel. Israel is life. Israel is the most important nation. All this stuff, right? And there were plenty of people who were anti-Semitic, but they also loved Israel. They never really thought about Israel. There were some in the edges, like Nick Fuentes, who were both anti-Semitic and also anti-Israel, but they did not make a movement. Okay, a movement they could not make. Now we live in a very different reality. And that is precisely the reason why you're hearing from the likes of Christopher Rufo complaints about conspiratorial elements within the right. A conspiratorial right that they designed.
At the top of the show is an evil, twisted human being. Now, the reason I say that today is because Candace has spent the last several months attacking the widow of Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk. It took her just a few days after Charlie's sick murder in order to start casting aspersions at Turning Point USA, people who work there all the way up to the highest levels, up to and including Erica Kirk. She was doing that very, very quickly, and she's been doing it for months. I mean, truly for months. I mean, yesterday, she came out with something that she had announced she was doing, which is a series. This is a trailer for a series, a teaser trailer, that is titled Bride of Charlie, which is supposedly now an expose on the evil, nefarious, predatory nature of Erica Kirk.
I promise you, these people are not dignified human beings. Even if they had major opposition to Candace Owens, like on Erica Kirk like this, if she was a pro-Israel voice, they would not be talking about it. They'd be talking privately. Every now and then they'd be like, well, we got to hold our coalition together, but it's fine. I promise you they're using this because they think this is a solid attack line against Candace Owens. Because Candace Owens has become a monster, a behemoth, a force on the right to make the right anti-Israel. Yeah, Israel is spending millions aimed on an effort aimed at Christian right in the U.S., allegedly as a part of an attempt to combat anti-Semitism. Haaretz reveals a network of pro-Israel sites. They are trying to hold it back. They're trying to hold back the wave of not only anti-Semitism, but anti-Zionism, anti-Israel sentiment on the right, and that's all they're doing.
The widow of Charlie Kirk, who again was shot in the neck, not by some sort of vast conspiracy involving French intelligence and Egyptian airplanes, but by a trans-loving gay man who is a furry. That is the actual story. And because Candace Owens is either going through the throes of mental illness or because she is a sick human being, or both, she has decided that she is going to turn her fire on the widow. Don't believe me? I know. Listen, there are a lot of people who listen to Candace. She has a huge audience. This is what she does. This is who she is. She is a conspiratorial, evil person.
Dog, you built this. It's Subway. My brother in Christ, you built a sandwich, you know? Enjoy it. You built the sandwich. You hired her. Candace Owens said, Hitler simply wanted to make Germany great, okay? That's what Candace Owens said. A year after she said that, Ben Shapiro hired her for the Daily Wire. Miss me with this bullshit. You did that. You did her. You made her. But back then, she was super pro-Israel. She was anti-Semitic, but she was super pro-Israel. When she became anti-Semitic and very anti-Israel, all of a sudden, oh, we got problems. The same principle with conspiracy theories. You guys trafficking conspiracies all the time, but all of a sudden, it's an issue when those conspiracies stop you from putting together a reliable narrative on how Charlie Kirk got shot, and this is the fault of trans Antifa. That's it. You made this. Your uncle's destroyed on Piers Morgan about Iran.
Talking about a country.
We'll do that.
Because that's who would do something like this. A conspiratorial, evil person. Now, the only reason that I'm playing this trailer is so you understand the extent of the evil that Candace Owens is perpetrating here. Because obviously I do not wish to promote her propagandistic horror that she is now pushing on a grieving widow with small children. The entire purpose of this is so you understand what Candace Owens is and what she is doing. I have to show you this thing so you understand that I'm not exaggerating, that I'm not making it up, that the thing that I'm saying is a thing Candace is doing. Because otherwise it would be kind of unbelievable. I get this all the time with regard to Candace. I get it with regard to other personalities too. But what happened to her? Does she really mean this stuff? Does she mean the kind of stuff that she says? Take her at her word. Here is what she is doing. Here is the trailer for her hot.
We get it, bro. Oh my God, he's such a. He's like, here's a trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. I'm only showing this video to show you how bad it is. We got it, bro. It's bad.
Garbage fire of nonsense conspiracy mongering defecation.
I think one of the funniest parts about this is that Erica Kirk is, unfortunately for all of these people, insufferable. And also looks crazy. There's a reason why people respond to Candace Owens' message, no matter how crazy that message might be. And that's because when you watch Candace Owens talk about Charlie Kirk and you watch Erica Kirk talk about Charlie Kirk, one objectively seems closer to Charlie Kirk, and it's not the wife, okay? That's it. So there are a million different reasons as to why this media cycle was foreseeable for anyone with a working brain and eyes to see. People like myself, I've been talking about this. I've been warning about this for years, about the dangers of right-wing conspiracies and misinformation cycles. I never would have foreseen the right fully leaning into anti-Semitism and anti-Israel, though. I never thought that the right would actually do that. That certainly has been a shock to even myself. I mean, I've always talked about the right's anti-Semitism and whatnot, but I never thought that they would be anti-Israel.
Here is the trailer she just released for her series of attacks. It's going to be an entire series of attacks on Erica Kirk. Again, she's been retailing and implying and basically saying out loud a lot of this stuff on her show for months. 4 months. People cannot claim that they were ignorant that this was happening. They know it was happening, and they let it go. We'll get to them in a moment. But here is the trailer that she released yesterday.
President Trump says that Kirk has died after he was shot from a nearby building.
After being shot at Utah Valley University.
The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
I didn't even get to give him a kiss goodbye.
That young man, I forgive him.
Take your time.
Erica Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
It's weird to say excited. Describes her husband's funeral as the event of the century. Merch, hats.
We have 50,000 plus hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Zionists, the Prime Minister of Israel, all lied through their teeth about Charlie Kirk.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
We are conversations to have with a 15-year-old. I'm going to touch your butt.
$8.6 million to their own shell company. What is going on?
We have nothing to hide. My aunt used to tell me, never do something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper.
So that's what Candace Owens has been spending her days doing, and millions of people, of course, have been watching her as she's been doing this. Apparently, she is calling Erica Kirk, she has been calling Erica Kirk a lesbian pedophile, grooming a 15-year-old.
We will be seated.
She is suggesting, of course.
That is a fire promo. W promo, Ben. Ben, W promo. You did it, King. I'm sat, locked, loaded, moisturized, ready to receive, dude. It is pretty funny that like he's literally offering it free promo, which I love. I don't know why he did this, because like he already has a minuscule audience in comparison to Candace Owens. And what remains of his audience are probably going to be switching sides after this. So wonderful stuff.
She has been suggesting for a while that TPUSA was complicit, if not in the murder of Charlie Kirk, then in the cover-up of the murder of Charlie Kirk. This is the stuff that Candace Owens has been doing, because Candace Owens is a true vampire when it comes to conservatism and the conservative movement. She finds prominent people, and then she grifts off of them, and then she does more grifting off of them, and then she grifts them until she's done grifting them. Then she moves on to the next thing she can grift off. Truly evil. You lack for words. There is a biblical injunction for those of us who actually care about the Bible. There's a biblical injunction in Exodus.
For those of you who care about the Bible, I don't. Yeah, these guys thought they could train their audience to somehow only resent Muslims and black people. And the reason they're all flailing now is that they lost the cultural momentum, and the monster they created is looking back at them. The fact that Candace is unhinged was obvious from day one. We've covered it in detail, in great detail. Conservative media made her a star anyway. If there's anyone to be blamed for what she's become, it's themselves for building her profile in the first place. One of the funniest, darkest ironies here is that Candace Owens is there are two people most responsible for Candace Owens' career. They're both Jewish. It's David Horowitz and Ben Shapiro. Isn't that crazy? They are both incredibly reactionary, incredibly conservative, okay? And they literally made her. They made her. It's wild. Candace Owens, as a response, immediately says, PSA, we won't be taking any lessons on what evil is from people who protected Jeffrey Epstein raping children and or looked the other way as Bibi Netanyahu committed a genocide in broad daylight. She got him. This anti-Semite is technically correct. Zionists are putting in real work hours promoting our upcoming series. I would like to extend them all my deepest gratitude. We are a small team and couldn't do it without your steadfast commitment to hysterics. See you tomorrow. This was my $10 super chat to Candace Owens was probably one of my greatest donations of all time. It is paying back dividends, okay? Like the infighting that we are experiencing on the MAGA side would not exist if it wasn't for Candace Owens, okay? So for that, I have to thank her. She never read my comment, but my point still stands. I like to think in my mind that I played into the fissure. I leaned into one side and helped tilt the scales, one $10 super chat at a time, where I said, Candace, I love you, longtime fan, first-time subscriber, but I don't think you should trust Erica Kirk. I would like to know about the private conversation that you guys had. We all played our role as clandestine operators. We played our role, and now the right is on fire. But as Jared Holt, who is a long-time right-wing watcher, literally used to work in an outlet called Right Wing Watch, says this sort of thing is happening all across MAGA media right now. They poured gas on the fires of conspiracy, hate, and division to gain audience and power. Now they're staring down the inevitable consequences of doing that, losing control, coming under attack, and looking insane. Now, there are, like I said, there are some people who look at this and go, oh, conservatives are mad at the realm of conspiracy. They're not. They trafficking in conspiracies. The correct analysis here is not necessarily that Candace Owens is a rabid conspiracist. It's that she is anti-Israel. And not only is that the problem, but the most effective way of making young right-wingers anti-Israel is through anti-Semitism. Because obviously they don't have any sort of like universal anti-Zionist, anti-fascist, anti-genocide principles that they hold on to. They're Nazis half the time, or at least close enough to being Nazis. Maybe they're not anti-Semitic initially, but then they become anti-Semitic because they realize, like, wait a minute, if we're going to shit on all non-whites, why would Jews get a pass here? Some of them literally will tie back the pro-immigrant agenda to Jews, which is ironically what Hitler also did, right? Why are people spamming cum and like all these other random letters, man? Please stop. I don't know why you guys are doing that. Please stop. Stop being silly. No silliness allowed, I say. You want to know why? Because we're covering some really important stuff. We're covering Candace Owens right now. It's the most important part of my broadcast. That's why I wore the suit, not for the State of the Union.
Conspiracy theorist Candace Owens has unveiled yet another addition to her list of controversial podcast series, this time focusing on Erica Kirk, the widow of Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk, who was shockingly assassinated during a public event last year. The dramatically edited trailer mostly features short sound bites from the widow with little context, as well as clips of other podcasters and personalities criticizing her in various ways. The short snippets focus on Erica's reactions to her late husband's tragic death and her appointment as Turning Point USA's new CEO, and even insinuate her being connected to conspiracies involving Israel and Romanian human trafficking. The announcement of the self-proclaimed investigative series titled Bride of Charlie, which seemingly plays on the horror movie title Bride of Chucky, drew intense backlash from the right online.
Notice no mention of Erica's numerous lies. I have to watch the evidence before judging. Bogino doing the Bojingles dancers. Anyone with a brain has never been more excited for anything their entire lives. Bring it, Candace. Dan Bongino chiming in lets me know she might be onto something. She forgives the shooter but gets mad on Candace. Why is she mad at someone trying to find out who shot her husband? So weird. Careful, your bias is showing. None of them, and I mean none in the conservative spectrum, are on the side of Erica Kirk, okay? They're not. It's all the commentariat, and a lot of these guys don't realize that the more they lean into this shit, the more they defend Israel, or the more they even like try to come after Candace Owens, the more their real organic audiences are going to move away from them. It's spectacular. Okay? Now, Donald Trump is going to try to do his very best. He's bringing Erica Kirk to the State of the Union, and I suspect that he will try to revitalize Turning Point USA, try to defend Turning Point USA. This is the real testament to Candace Owens' power. We will find out tonight, depending on what Donald Trump does with Erica Kirk tonight. Normally, he's a very good room reader. If Donald Trump hugs and kisses Erica Kirk or tries to defend Erica Kirk actively or actually calls out Candace Owens by name or some shit like that, because this has become a major problem, this will be a true testament to which side conservatives will lean into. I know it sounds incredibly inconsequential. I know it sounds so stupid. But I need you to understand something. This is what American political discourse is about nowadays. Okay? We are a brain-broken nation full of Hitlerites, and that's just the unfortunate reality of it all, especially the conservative movement. The MAGA movement is extra Hitlerite. And if there's one person that can untangle the Trump base of support, it is Candace Owens. So we shall see.
22. You ought not to oppress any widow or orphan. Now, the reason that I focus in on this is because aside from the fact that Candace drives huge numbers through slandering people, truly slandering them. And yes, Erica Kirk absolutely should sue the living hell out of Candace Owens for this sort of stuff. The reason I bring this up is because there's been a wide and vast silence by people who should have spoken out about this months and months and months ago. In fact, some of us were calling this out from the stage of TPUSA in December. Here's what I had to say about Candace doing exactly this thing. This is back in December. Okay, it is now nearly the end of February, and the same people who I suggested were silent then are silent now.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name. Erica Kirk and TPUSA never should have been put in the position to have to defend themselves against such specious and evil attacks, particularly...
God, you're such a nerd, dude. Clandis clears. We're clandestine operators. Your career is over, Ben. I love this, dude. I love this so much. It's like a gift for me and this community. You know what I mean? All of these like pivotal figureheads of the conservative movement for years and years. I watched from the sidelines. I was like, why the f are they doing this? How are they leaning so aggressively into conspiracy theories, trafficking some of the most vitriolic sentiment, the most toxic, repulsive ideologies you've ever seen, attacking people of different faiths and different backgrounds? And now all of that is looped around and is asked every single one of these like major drivers of hate and animosity. It's awesome. Yeah, a black woman is speaking, Ben. It's time to sit your white ass down and listen, okay?
In a time of mourning. And the people who refuse to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice. Yes, cowardice. The fact that they have said nothing while Candace has been vomiting all sorts of hideous and conspiratorial nonsense into the public square for years is just as cowardly.
When the signs are there for years on end, and people say nothing, and people continue to say nothing today, that's cowardice, obviously. Where are Charlie's friends? Where are Charlie's closest friends? Where are all the people who proclaimed solidarity with Charlie and with Erica today? What are they doing? And for all the people who are watching Candace stitch together a bunch of specious nonsense because they like the gossip of it, because they enjoy the tawdry Maury Povich silliness of it, because they're watching a car crash at the side of the road, please have some more respect for your own brain than that. Please have some more respect for yourself than that, truly. Truly. Because what she's doing is evil, and when you watch her show, she gets paid to do that.
Don't watch. You dumbass. You just played the goddamn trailer. The only reason why nobody gives a shit about this is because nobody gives a shit about you. So you are probably only promoting this to, you know, your tiny audience, but don't watch. I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch, dude. You know I'm going to watch.
Do not come.
I'm going to come.
Do not come.
Oh, yeah.
At evil. That is how she is making her money. She is making money off the murder of Charlie Kirk by literally implicating his widow and everyone else at TPUSA in that murder, and then trying to dig up pseudo dirt on the wife of the person who was murdered. I don't know what to call that other than evil trash.
Real Candace Owens is Evil got 16K likes on here, 1 million views, but it's fake because it's on Twitter. Let's take a look at what he got on YouTube. Let's see if they botted this one or not. Oh my God, Ben Shapiro's got 1.3 thousand viewers watching. Friendly Fire State of the Union address live, 1.3K watching. Oh, he's so. Oh my God, I never thought I would see this day. Candace Owens is Evil, 149,000 views. Probably his highest performing video. Yep, one of his highest performing videos, dude. Incredible. Oh, it's so awesome. All right, let's see what Dan Bongo had to say. 1K Andy is crazy. Yeah, he's cooked. I don't think you guys understand. Every single one of these clowns that went face first into defending Israel lost gigantic chunks of their audience, from Tim Pool to Ben Shapiro. Republicans didn't even care that Tim Pool was like being funded by Russia. But because he was not aggressive enough in calling out Israel or the genocide, they just went, okay, you're paid for by Israel. And the ones that were at least smart enough to recognize it's time to be anti-Israel, like Candace Owens, were able to clean up the entire audience. The only reason why Asmongold has an audience is because he's both anti-Semitic enough and quote-unquote based enough, and he's not as invested in like defending Israel. He'll attack Israel's critics like me, but he won't like dick ride Israel into oblivion in the same way that Ben Shapiro does. And also he's not Jewish. So like a lot of people watch him and they're like, oh yeah, he's based enough, you know? That's it.
Erica didn't choose this, man. She didn't choose this. Imagine sitting there in your house.
Pack watch.
And you find out from Twitter or, I don't know, a text or a phone call or that your husband was just shot in the neck for the entire world to see on social media at a public event. I can't imagine that. I know you can't either. Then you got to go through this. Then you got a bunch of absolute lunatics sending her emails. You did it. Huh. Comments, tweets. You go. You demonic scum.
Huh.
For as much as I hate what just happened, I wish ill on no one, and everyone should restrain their emotions from the other side because they are not on our side. Everyone. Once you go down the road of violence, there's no turning back. There's always someone stronger than you, man. Always. There's a whole lot of people stronger than me. But I'm sorry if the language distracts from you, but I can think of...
Were they teaching him how to fake cry at the FBI? Oh, no.
No other New York way to say it. You deserve to feel the little licks of the flames of hell on every inch of your body. You. If there's an afterlife, and I believe there is, I believe in the second creation. I don't pretend to be the judge and jury, but I know you're not in it.
Guy who covered up billionaire child rape ring wants you to know he's judging you for correctly pointing out how sketchy Erica Kirk has acted since her husband was killed. Bro, they're all so good. It's so good. It's so goddamn good. Oh, I wished for times like this.
Mr. Naftali.
What is this?
And in fact, I followed up with the former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, and what he told me is that Mossad has not been active in the United States or against the United States since the Jonathan Pollard scandal of 1987, when a U.S. Army contractor who's actually working for the Navy revealed classified information to the Israeli government. He was prosecuted by the United States government and ended up in prison for almost 30 years. And so Israel since then has not spied on the United States with Mossad. And in fact,
I wonder why people hate Ben Shapiro, dude. Must be because he's Jewish. I mean, there is definitely a lot of people who hate him because he's Jewish. Let's be real. But like, it's a lot more people that hate that in his audience. And once again, I cannot stress this enough. I need you guys. I'm going to keep hammering this point over and over again. You did this. You did this. Okay? You thought you could hate every black, brown, and Muslim person and organize around your mutual hatred for every black, brown, and Muslim person, hating women, hating gay people, hating trans people, only to turn around and assume that this would never come back to you. Not you, chat. Come on. I'm talking about Ben. I'm talking about these people. This chat is basically...
I'm gay and Lebanese.
Yeah, it's not you guys. Why would you have ever thought that this kind of everyone but white people are my enemies narratives, why would that never go back to Jews? Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are so popular because of the culture of silencing. It makes them seem like brave truth tellers. If you stop deporting, firing, besmirching, and destroying the lives of anyone who criticizes Israel, they would lose their power. It's true. And because of the way that the media ecosystem works, the right always have been champions of like anti-cancel culture, shit like that, right? They're seen as like bona fide heroes when they get attacked for their speech. This is just how the right-wing media ecosystem is designed, right? And what's interesting is no such situation exists, no such dynamic exists on the left. And another part of the another way that the censorious nature of a lot of Zionist institutions have created this market where Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson have become behemoths is because they were able to effectively stamp out people like myself, people who aren't anti-Semitic, but people who are anti-Israel, people who are anti-Zionist. They did this. They carved out this niche piece by piece. First, by allowing all matter of hatred to go on, unchecked and uncontrolled, and all matter of conspiracy to be trafficked on the right. And then by actively trying to deplatform people on the left. But yeah, as I was saying, they designed this environment, and now it's an uncontrollable behemoth. It has snowballed into this massive issue on the right, and I'm here for it. I think it's awesome. It's just crazy to watch countries that have like at the very least an interest in like showing that they have a adequate justice system. I am feeling a little bit of jealousy. America has not even attempted to course correct here, like not even a little bit. All right, let's do some good news now. Let's do some good news. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but we're now going to go to the United Kingdom for some good news, which is unexpected.
The fallout from the Epstein files has sent another shockwave through the British establishment. Former ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He's seen here being led away by police from his home in North London. Police previously searched 2 properties linked to Mandelson in Wiltshire and North London earlier in February over suggestions that he passed market-sensitive government information to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Let's take you live to London. Al Jazeera's Charlie Angela is in Westminster. What more can you tell us, Charlie, about the arrest?
Yes, well, everyone here in the UK has probably now seen those pictures of Mandelson being led away from his central London home by police. The property was being staked out by a news outlet who seems got lucky. So it comes after police carried out searches on 2 properties belonging to Mandelson, looking, as you say, for documents relating to allegations that Mandelson passed on sensitive information that could have moved.
Yeah, this is the exact same hit that former Prince Andrew got. It's not about the pedophilia, obviously. Should be obvious to all who are paying close attention to the story, but it's more so about them giving state secrets to Jeffrey Epstein, okay? That's literally, as soon as Prince Andrew was arrested, detained, and called in for questioning, and the charges were about revealing state secrets in a state capacity, I said back then that it was going to be about Peter Mandelson as well, because Peter Mandelson has also done the exact same that Prince Andrew has done. So it's the same charges. This is a good thing. I feel like this is more of like a Al Capone style situation where he's not busted for like racketeering, but or being a mob boss, but instead for tax evasion. And I guess the British government is doing that as well.
markets to his close friend Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted paedophile, in 2009. Now, this was when Mandelson was at the heart of the Labour government under Tony Blair, at a time when governments were looking for bailouts. He would have been in discussions with European counterparts as well. And it looks like documents would have been seized during those searches, and that might now be what the arrest has been based on. Now, Mandelson has denied any wrongdoing, and he has expressed his regret for his close friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, but his fall from grace has been absolute.
Selling state secrets isn't exactly tax evasion. No, the reason why I'm using the Al Capone example is because Al Capone was obviously a criminal, but they busted him for anything they possibly could, which was tax evasion. Mandelson and Andrew are obviously directly affiliated with a very famous file and potentially engaged in pedophilia themselves. With Prince Andrew, we have a lot more information on that, obviously, than we do for Mandelson. But they're getting them not on pedophilia charges, but instead on the state secret charges. Now, of course, the state secret charges in this circumstance are actually pretty aggressive, because if found guilty, Mandelson could receive life in prison. So this is really good. It's hard to look at this and just like try to cast it away. I mean, it's treason, and they should be prosecuted for this. So justice is being served in this regard if they follow through on this. Okay, so I'm in favor of this, and it's fantastic that this is happening. Shout out to the UK. I didn't know you knew ball like that. UK apology form. I thought the country was run by I thought the country liked being used as a sleeve for Jeffrey Epstein. I was wrong. I saw all the charges that the Palestine Action people received, and I thought there is no real justice in your country. It turns out you have a higher, I mean, it's a very low bar to clear, especially when compared to the United States of America, but you cleared it, so respect.
Seismic. Just last year, this man was the US ambassador to the UK ambassador to the US. He was sharing jokes with President Donald Trump in the Oval Office. And he has been at the heart of the Labour government for decades and has had a pretty Teflon-resistant career. He has had to resign twice, but both times he has bounced back. He was made a Lord, but he has now had to resign from the House of Lords. And
yeah, I mean, the British Kingdom would never offer lordship to, very famous files, of course. Jimmy Savile, notwithstanding.
Lost his title. So we will wait to hear what police reveal, to see how long he's questioned for as well, how long he will be held. But this is going to be a huge blow for Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who has really had to come back fighting and defend his appointment of Peter Mandelson, which he has now said he didn't know the extent to which Mandelson...
Sorry, Savile was a knight, not a lord, law. Oh my God. I apologize. Okay, British people, calm down. God damn, dude. My bad, bro. Oh, Jesus Christ. The first moment that I give a little bit of recognition to British people, all of a sudden they have to immediately make me feel bad about it. Oh, how dare you, sir? It's a knighthood, not a lordship. Apologize. The word carries big weight around these parts. My bad, dude. I didn't realize. Oh, you have mistitled. This carries a fine of 50 quid, 8 rounds of silver, and a decapitation post haste. Off to the gallows with you, my good sir. How dare you?
Maintained his ties with Jeffrey Epstein, but it has been a huge blow to Keir Starmer. This arrest is just going to add fuel to the fire.
What are the likely political ramifications going to be, Charlie, particularly, as you say, with the pressure right now on Prime Minister Keir Starmer?
Well, we do know that they were discussing in Parliament today when new tranches of information relating to the appointment of Mandelson will be released. We understand that the government has been cooperating with the police in their investigations and handed over all relevant documents. But as you know, it has been within his own party. He has garnered support, but outside his party, calls for his resignation. But it's not just in the political establishment that we're getting repercussions. Of course, the former Prince Andrew, Lord Mountbatten, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, excuse me, we're getting used to his new title, is still under suspicion. We understand that Metropolitan Police today were speaking to his former protection officers who, it emerged, were asked to guard Andrew while he dined with Jeffrey Epstein in 2010, and they have been brought in for questioning. At the same time,
I told you, this goes even beyond. You take out Mendelsohn, all of a sudden, Kid Starver is also compromised. Just as I told you, you take out Prince Andrew, former Prince Andrew, on these charges, you take out Mendelsohn. You take out Mendelsohn, all of a sudden, Kid Starver is also in the crosshairs.
Former civil servants have also come forward anonymously, giving information that when Andrew was trade envoy to the UK, he was filing unnecessary and excessive expenses, including charging for personal massages, charges that would have ultimately been passed on to the taxpayer. And while there's no evidence of any criminal wrongdoing that will have to be assessed, it does paint an incredibly unfavourable picture. But the message, really, both from the palace and from the Prime Minister, is that
that's Lord Kid Starver to you, plebeian,
is above the law, and that these investigations will have to run their course.
Charlie Angela reporting live from London. Many thanks, Charlie. Well, Peter Mandelson's arrest is the latest fallout from the Epstein files, a trove of documents linked to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Al Jazeera's Camille Nadelek reports.
We live in a society where arresting files is too far, apparently. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I love that. This is incredible. They're losing their minds
in the end,
over
all the people he's offended for all those decades have suddenly now turned around and pointed at him. That's
and when it comes to the hue and cry, you know, and I know you hate that aspect of our national character, you know, where people are tarring and feathering somebody almost as prey, he's been used as a lightning rod for all the anger that people feel about so many other things, and that's what's happening.
I just think simply because you don't like somebody who you've never met before and never will meet doesn't mean that you should be treating this as some blood sport. I mean, what we are demanding now is, at least based on the evidence that is currently in the public domain and is all allegations at this stage, it goes, in my view, way too far.
Do you not feel embarrassed? Is there not like a moment where you go, maybe I shouldn't be defending files getting arrested? Nope. You just let that shit fly, huh? That's crazy. I guess, I mean, it's surf mentality, right? Like, this is a real thing. This is one of the most visible versions of the thing I talk about all the time, like surf mindset. Straight up.
Absolutely hounding this man.
You may well be right. You may well be right.
We want him to be stripped. He's been stripped of all of his baubles. There are people who demand that he be exiled. Where is he going to be exiled to? Stripped of any money. How is we expecting him to be?
He can
we
go
want him to be ostracised from all of his family.
Well, he can't be, at the moment he's under police investigation, so he can't be exiled, but that is an option.
Not the baubles! My good sir. Not his lordship, not his titles, his royalty. Wow. New York Times opinion added again. The Epstein file should have never been released. Gross. Yuck. We're, for the first time ever, like, we're a nose hair away from seeing like a fraction of justice for the super wealthy, the elite in society. And everyone is showing their asses, dude. It's disgusting. Oh, my lordship can do a little noncerie. It's the finer aspects of life. They deserve it.
Cornerstone of British politics, Peter Mandelson has had a tumultuous career. His last major appointment was as the UK's ambassador to the United States.
I'd like to have that accent. Thank you. My mother would be proud.
Mandelson was fired after allegations linking him to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Documents released by the US Department of Justice appear to show Mandelson shared confidential government information with Epstein. including memos on the state of the British economy in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis and the prospect of an EU bailout. Information he had access to during a decades-long career in the British government and as EU Trade Commissioner. Those revelations shook the government of Keir Starmer, leaving the UK Prime Minister fighting for his political life, as he tried to justify how and why he appointed a man who many believe should not have passed a background check.
At the time I appointed him.
I wonder why. It's because of those reasons that he was appointed. Hello, straight up. Yeah, I know. I'm going to cover the case for striking Iran in a second.
I got answers from him which I believe to be true. He painted a picture of barely knowing Epstein.
If he's charged and found guilty, Mandelson could be sentenced to life in prison, although convictions for misconduct in UK public office are rare. Camille Nedelec, Al Jazeera.
Jonathan Tongue is a professor of politics at the University of Liverpool and a specialist on British and Irish politics. He joins us now live from Manchester. Good to have you with us, Professor. Seismic, our correspondent, called it. What's your reaction to the arrest of Peter Mandelson?
I think the arrest of Peter Mandelson was almost inevitable, given the arrest last week of the former Prince Andrew, now Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, because all the evidence we have to date is that Peter Mandelson was even closer to Jeffrey Epstein than was Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. I mean, Peter Mandelson was writing to Jeffrey Epstein when he was in prison and saying what an injustice it had been, the imprisonment of Jeffrey Epstein. And we do have some evidence via emails that shows that Peter Mandelson was passing on some aspects of cabinet governance to Jeffrey Epstein. There's some particular emails that deal with that. For example, he was advising him that the government was going to sell £20 billion of assets. He was advising on tax issues relating to the UK government. And Peter Mandelson encouraged the head of JP Morgan, major American firm, to get in touch with the Chancellor, the UK Chancellor, to oppose bankers' taxes on bankers' bonuses. So there are those pieces of evidence. I think it was almost inevitable that police would at least make inquiries over what Peter Mandelson has been up to.
As we've been hearing, Jonathan, Mandelson was one of the most consequential political operators of the new Labour era. I mean, how politically significant is it to see someone of his stature being arrested like this?
I think it's hugely politically significant because it shows bad judgment.
You're breathing really heavy, my G. No, I'm not. I'm not. It's their microphone, dude. It's the newscaster. Notice how it stopped? It's from the video, dumbasses. Why do people pick on you constantly? It's just a way to get my attention, I think.
On the part of Tony Blair initially, who appointed Peter Mandelson, and Peter Mandelson had to quit cabinet twice because he was involved in controversies. Gordon Brown then made, or helped make Peter Mandelson a member of the House of Lords, so it reflects badly upon his judgment. And it certainly reflects badly upon the judgment of Keir Starmer as the current Prime Minister, because it's only a few months ago that Keir Starmer was, and I quote, declared he had full confidence in Peter Mandelson as the UK ambassador to the United States, arguably the most important ambassadorial posting that there is. It was under pressure from the leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch, that Keir Starmer began to row back from that. And now Keir Starmer says that Peter Mandelson lied to him. But surely the vetting of Peter Mandelson before he was given such a key appointment should have been far, far, far more thorough. We'll now see.
That wasn't me, okay?
Whether the UK police are more thorough in their investigations of Peter Mandelson.
What about the electorate? Given his history at the heart of government and the governing Labour Party, what are the immediate political ramifications of this arrest? What could it mean for Labour electorally? And you mentioned Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Could this bring him down?
Possibly, although I think that Keir Starmer has now sufficiently distanced himself from Peter Mandelson to avoid that. But I think the electorate will take a dim view of the Prime Minister's judgment in ever bringing Peter Mandelson into such a key post. And it might make those electoral tests that loom for Keir Starmer that much more difficult. He's got a very difficult by-election, Keir Starmer, in Gorton and Denton this week, Labour trying to cling on to that particular parliamentary seat. And he's got a huge set of elections come this May with English local elections and Scottish and Welsh Parliament elections. Given that there are questions at the moment over Keir Starmer's judgment, then I think, at the moment, and with his low polling rating, those elections look highly problematical at the moment for the Labour Party.
Good to talk to you, Professor. Many thanks indeed. Jonathan Tongue there in Manchester.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture.
A very public arrest. It was just before 4:45 in the afternoon, in broad daylight and in full view of TV cameras and photographers, that Peter Mandelson was led from his London home by police officers and taken to a police station to be interviewed. Around half an hour earlier, the same officers had been seen arriving at Mandelson's home. And minutes after the former peer was driven from his home in an unmarked car, the Metropolitan Police confirmed he'd been arrested. Officers have arrested a 72-year-old man on suspicion of misconduct in public office, said a spokesperson. He was arrested at an address in Camden on Monday 23rd of February and has been taken to a London police station for interview. This follows search warrants at 2 addresses in the Wiltshire and Camden areas. Those searches began at both addresses more than 2 weeks ago, and police officers were later...
Bro, this is how I feel watching New York receive Zohran Mamdani. This is how I feel watching another country that is so close to ours in culture actually do a little bit of justice for some of these elite files. It's f***ed up. It's actually f***ed up. Wait, what is going on? Can chatters hear me breathing heavy? Like, I don't understand. Am I breathing heavy? You can't even hear my breathing. Are we still on the previous video? In this video, you can't even hear him breathing. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Yeah, this is what our law enforcement is doing right now. But it's just crazy to watch countries that have like an interest, at the very least, an interest in like showing that they have a adequate justice system. Very, very strange experience. I am feeling a little bit of jealousy. America has not even attempted to course correct here. Like, not even a little bit. Hopefully, this will light a fire under our asses collectively. Hopefully, it'll piss us off. And maybe we'll demand justice. I don't see that at all. I don't see that happening at all.
Taking boxes away. It's Mandelson's friendship with the American financier and convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein that's led to this dramatic fall from grace.
Well, Mr. President, thank you very much indeed in hosting us this morning.
Less than 6 months ago, he was British ambassador in Washington, the UK's most glittering diplomatic posting, before being sacked by Sir Keir Starmer in September.
Are you embarrassed for putting your trust in Peter Mandelson, Prime Minister? What does it say about your judgment, Prime Minister?
Earlier last year, he told Sky News of his regret about his association with Epstein.
My knowledge of him is something that I regret. I wish I'd never met him in the first place.
But the release of the Epstein files, suggesting he shared government information with Epstein when he was a cabinet minister under Gordon Brown, may have prompted the police investigation. Mandelson's arrest comes just 4 days after the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor over his actions as a government trade envoy.
These are extraordinary moments. What we need to remember, though, I think, is that the police investigations in both cases, and they're separate investigations, one by Thames Valley Police, this by the Metropolitan Police, are in the early stages. There may be other documents and emails held on digital devices at Mandelson's homes in Wiltshire or Camden that they will have wanted to look at.
Mandelson's arrest is a huge blow for Sir Keir Starmer, and the Conservatives are turning up the heat on the Prime Minister.
I asked him if he had full confidence in Peter Mandelson just a few months ago, and he said yes, despite all of these allegations being known. Only to see the man arrested shows that the Prime Minister has a terrible judgment. He's weak. He could have done more.
Mandelson continues to deny wrongdoing, and Labour ministers insist the Prime Minister acted decisively.
As soon as Keir Starmer understood what the reality of Peter Mandelson's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein was, he sacked him in the middle of the night, actually. So, I think that's an important area of judgment.
You knew about it ahead of time. That's the reason why you brought him in. Get the out of here. Straight up. Hopefully there's an additional investigation that takes place. Hopefully there's an investigation that takes place that's conducted here that completely blows this shit up, and that not only do people understand that Keir Starmer was heavily involved in this, had full knowledge over it, but also people are forgetting the other component of this, okay? This is a moment of vindication for Jeremy Corbyn. This is a moment of vindication for the true left in the UK. Because Jeremy Corbyn, in spite of his other issues, like, not having like a super solid position on Brexit, which definitely hurt his chances, was rat fucked internally by the Labour Party, by the likes of Mendelsohn and Keir Starmer. Jeremy Corbyn, because of his position on Israel, was called an anti-Semite over and over again, endlessly, by the British media, by the British press, by members of his own party. They actually created an anti-Semitism panic within the party deliberately, just so they could keep feeding into the media that was aggressively trying to persecute him. Corbyn, he over Sultana. Shut up. We're not having a conversation about your party. Every moment that we don't talk about your party is a good moment. Okay? It serves you. It literally does not serve you at all. It does not serve you at all to even bring that shit up a little bit. Okay? What should Corbyn's stance be on Brexit? No Brexit. He should have been anti-Brexit. I know that there were plenty of Labour strongholds that wanted Brexit, but he shouldn't have been afraid to lead there. He should have just been like, no, we're not doing Brexit. That's crazy. Okay? Brexit literally hurt the UK in very meaningful ways, and it still continues to do so. Why do you support the EU? Yes, I love the European Union. I love neoliberalism. I love taking away the sovereignty of British population. I love it all. Corbyn was a Brexiteer his whole life. What do you mean? Yes, it doesn't matter. The appropriate thing to do in that moment was to be no on Brexit. Okay? Just like I'm a massive fan of Gavin Newsom, I'm also a massive fan of the European Union. You literally can't have any sort of leftist policies with this in the EU. You can't privatize literally anything. Okay. Being anti-EU is an OG 70s British lefty position. I know all of this. I covered it years ago. I know. Is that not the same as NATO? Oh. Okay, we're not going to have a conversation about Brexit right now, please. This is not the point that I was trying to make. The point that I was trying to make is that Jeremy Corbyn got ratted by his own party, by the Blairite wing of his own party. Okay? Keir Starmer being one of the leaders of that charge. They created a fake anti-Semitism panic within the party structure. A lot of people got duped by it. A lot of people leaned into it. It was not about anti-Semitism at all. After all, the Tories were objectively and openly infinitely more anti-Semitic than Labour ever could be. They straight up kept hammering him with false anti-Semitism smears over and over again. And they made the entire conversation about Jeremy Corbyn's unelectability because British Jews were going to be leaving the country in droves and all this. Okay. And they did that specifically because they were terrified of Jeremy Corbyn's anti-Israel position. Okay. A position that has been vindicated 1,000,000 times over.
But for Mandelson personally, his arrest is the latest humiliation in a spectacular downfall for someone formerly at the heart of the Labour High Command. John Craig, Sky News.
Peter Mandelson has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. So what does that mean? Well, the Crown Prosecution Service defines it as when someone holding public office willfully neglects to perform their duty and or willfully misconducts themselves to such a degree as to amount to an abuse of the public's trust in the officeholder without reasonable excuse or justification. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested on suspicion of the same offence. We don't know what evidence the Met Police may have considered before making this arrest. Mandelson has consistently denied any wrongdoing. The latest files painted a picture of Epstein's reach in the highest circles of power, politics and celebrity. And the two arrests in the wake of their release are a vivid example of that. Peter Mandelson features extensively in them, as photos in the files attest. Again, being included in the files is not evidence of any wrongdoing. But Mandelson was often photographed at Epstein's side in multiple locations over multiple years. Here, Mandelson is pictured on a yacht with Epstein and others. And here he is celebrating Epstein's 54th birthday. Now, this photo, also part of the files, shows how Mandelson was comfortable around Epstein, even when being photographed. Mandelson's association with Epstein was public knowledge, very public knowledge. But the files did shed new light on its nature. First off, its length. This is from 2009. Mandelson wrote to Epstein, "You are the only person who knows everything about me. Don't go away." To be more precise, the date is May 2009. This is while Epstein was still serving a sentence in Florida for procuring prostitution. There are casual, jokey intimacies in the documents. This is 2.5 years later. Mandelson writing to Epstein, "You don't care about me anymore." Epstein replying, "Rubbish." Mandelson was happy to discuss politics too. In 2009, Mandelson's assistant emailed Epstein a government speech here before it was delivered. And this email was sent while Mandelson was secretary.
Yeah, we knew years ago that Mandelson has stayed in Epstein's flat whilst he was in prison. The media here are lying. Yes, the reason why he was brought back into the fold was because of his Epstein connections. Because Jeffrey Epstein connections, I think, for a lot of these people imply that you're connected to the American State Department, that you're connected to the Israeli espionage agencies. And that is precisely the reason why you kept your prominent position of power. Mandelson was not doing the Corbyn rap specifically because Corbyn was a danger to capital interests in the UK. That was definitely a component of it, but he was also certainly doing it because he was a danger to Israel. Okay? Straight up. I'm saying it out loud so that you are not confused by this. These guys can absolutely be seen either indirectly or directly as agents of the Israeli state apparatus. Okay? At this point, you'd be delusional not to recognize that Jeffrey Epstein was both a CIA and a Mossad asset. Anyone who tries to tell you like, oh, they were not collaborating with the CIA or collaborating with Mossad is lying. Some people say it's just Mossad. They're lying. Some people say just CIA, not Mossad. They're lying. And the third group says it's KGB. Those people they should never be listened to ever again. Okay. Not only that, but this is all, all of the statements that I'm making, you can get from the readily available information. You may not know, but Mandelson is also Jewish. And people here were trying to smear people as conspiracy theorists, anti-Semites. I didn't even know that Mandelson was Jewish. But it's not surprising to me that people are saying it's anti-Semitic conspiracies. Okay.
Of State for Department of Business, Innovation and Skills. In 2010, as governments were struggling to deal with...
Thank you for the 100 gifted subs. Anonymous user.
...crisis, there was this exchange. Epstein emails Mandelson, "Sources tell me a 500 billion euro bailout, almost complete." Mandelson says, "Should be announced tonight." Epstein asks, "Are you home?" Mandelson replies, "Just leaving number 10, will call." Again, we don't know what evidence the Met Police may have considered before making this arrest, and Mandelson has consistently denied any wrongdoing.
We will know if the investigation finds no leads, and that we will know if this is a fake sham trial specifically to prove Mandelson's innocence, okay? We'll see if this is true justice being served, which is unlikely. But even a step in the right direction like this is a positive. It's good news nonetheless. Israel Today called the Green Party UK hateful and racist. Yeah, led by a Jewish guy, by the way. Jewish Hassan Abihed. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. At the end of the day, these guys don't give a f about anti-Semitism. I don't know how many times I have to explain it. They do not care about anti-Semitism. They just care about Israel. That's it.
Would run around and as they terrorize
bro. Oh my God, shut up. Yo, who is this for, dude? Understand that Republicans love weaponizing woke.
If you haven't seen this yet, get ready. Grab the tea and crumpets, because this is, you want to talk about loser media clip potentially of the year, and it's only what, February? Did you hear?
We got another racism inadvertent. I mean, it's I don't even think Gavin Newsom was like being racist when he said this, but Republicans are absolutely dumping on it. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of Big Gav, right? I think that's known at this point, right? People know. Not the biggest fan of Big Gav at all for a bunch of different reasons, right? This is not one of them. This is not one of them at all, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's a bad look in general, but this is ironically a moment where he thinks he's being human. Gavin Newsom is in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's speaking to a crowd as he's on his book tour, right? And the crowd is black. It's Atlanta, Georgia. Gavin Newsom, on his book tour, has been trying to convince people that he is just like you, okay? He's just like you. He's an everyman. He's a regular guy. He got 960 on the SAT. For those of you who are tuning in from not America, that's a very low score, like a very low score. So he's talking about his upbringing and the trials and tribulations, and you know, he just keeps telling people in these masses, in these crowds, that he is stupid. I don't know how else to describe it. He literally just keeps saying, "I'm dumb just like you. I'm a stupid guy just like you." Now, of course, I don't personally think that's like a very good approach to the issue at all. I don't know why he's trying to become relatable by being like, I'm a dumb guy, bro. I'm a dumb guy, bro. I'm really dumb just like you. And he's been saying it. And he's been saying it in front of every crowd. But this time, the crowd he's saying it in front of happens to be black. And of course, the Republicans are cynically using this to be like, see, he's, lol. It's a twofer. For the Republicans, for the conservatives, for the reactionaries, they get to have double the enjoyment out of this because on the one hand, they get to say black people are stupid. And on the other hand, they're saying, see, Gavin Newsom is saying black people are stupid. Let's take a look at the video and then we'll discuss the way that people are approaching it.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. You know, I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940.
It's also very Brandonized too. And I feel like while he's delivering this, in the back of his mind, he might have had a brief moment where like, this might not look good. This is a Brandonian moment. This is Brandanistan. We thought we were living in Mamdanistan. We're not living in Mamdanistan. We're living in Brandanistan. This is full Brandon. And this motherfucker, like, what, 60? He should not be Brandonizing this early. What the hell is going on? And here he is being Brandon for the rest of time. We are stuck in a perpetual Brandonization, one Brandon after another, okay? No matter who wins the election, they will have to Brandonize. I have realized this now. I'm just saying it. He is going to go full Brandon. This is just our future. The closer you are to Brandon, the better your chances are at winning the presidency. He is pulling a corn pop. It's an infinite Brandon time loop. Donald Trump won after Brandon, right? 2020, Brandon wins. He Brandonizes pretty aggressively. 2024, Trump wins. He is more Brandon than Brandon is. Let's go, Brandon. Your goddamn fire alarm keeps making me think it's mine. Okay, we're going to fix it. It just started. Okay, time is a flat circle, as I was saying. So...
But literally a 960 SAT guy, I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. This may be the wrong business to be in. I'm not.
So I've already heard him say this, by the way. I've already heard him say these words, so it didn't like shock me that he said that in this room as well, right? But of course, Sean Hannity and all these other guys are like, Gavin Newsom thinks a 960 SAT makes him like black Americans. Let that sink in. Now, this is a fantastic opportunity for me to shit on Gavin Newsom. Okay? It really is. And it's taking up a lot of my mental faculties not to use this, to just like really go, see, what now, liberals? But like, he said this over and over again. I think it just more so is an indication that he doesn't know how to to make himself look like a normal human and not this like alien figure that was placed on God's green earth to one day become president. Okay, that's what I think. I think it's not like he wasn't like he wasn't trying to imply that like black people are stupid or you know, he wasn't trying to say specifically that black people are bad at the SATs or anything like that. He just thinks all Americans are stupid. He thinks all Americans are dumb. And there's decent reasons to feel that way. He's not totally wrong to think that, but he wasn't like directing this at black people in general. Here's a video also. I've now spoken to several people who were there. Everyone confirms that there were only a handful of black people there, but if you didn't see the room, why did you publicly declare that he was talking to black voters? Because it's Atlanta. And that's the reason why they're saying this. And also because they want to shit stir. They want to say like Gavin Newsom is a racist. And if you want to say Gavin Newsom is a racist, there are probably plenty of better ways to do that. You know, he's a white man in power. It doesn't take much for you to figure out what some of his areas of interest have been that have disproportionately targeted black people. You know what I mean? But these guys don't want to do that. They don't want to like think about systemic racism because their job is to never identify that. Their job is to act like systemic racism isn't a real thing, right? I don't know. I thought this was racist as hell. Why are you sucking Newsom now? Why have you accepted him as a Democratic nominee and now defending him every day? It's because I got the check. That's not what he said. Putting direct quotes here is dishonest. You left out words and context, almost as if you just cut and pasted what the right-wing blogs are saying about this without actually watching the video yourself. Please do yourself a favor and watch the video.
So Gavin Newsom thinks that because he's a dumbass and scored less than 1,000 in the SAT that he can relate to the black experience. That's what he said to a room of black and brown people in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, just this past weekend. And this man said this with a straight face. And because he scored a 960 on the SAT, he was just like me.
Oh, brother, shut the up. For the record, this is CJ Pearson. He is a right-wing Republican content creator. I didn't say it. Nice bathroom is black. He said hairline opinion discarded. I didn't say it. I'm highlighting. I'm giving room to black voices. I'm listening to black voices. Nice bathroom is black. He's the one who said hairline opinion discarded. I would never. I didn't even notice it. I didn't even realize he was black. I'm colorblind. Anyway, they only do this shit to the left. Let it happen since it's Gavin. I know they love doing this to the left. The Democrats love doing this to the left cynically all the time. And a lot of people who are going to go out to defend Gavin Newsom today also are some of the people who love throwing that out there in a cynical fashion. Okay? Like a goddamn grenade.
Well, Gavin, let me tell you something. I didn't score a 960 on the SAT. I scored.
It's crazy to be a guy who says, I love Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not racist. Donald Trump literally calls every black legislator low IQ. Like every single one. Every single one. And this motherfucker the audacity to turn around and be like, I mean, he did the Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are apes thing like not that long ago. It was not even a month ago. And these guys have to come out and be like, yeah, you know, the real racism here is Gavin Newsom trying to relate to every American by saying, I'm stupid. It hasn't even been 2 weeks.
They got higher than that on the SAT. And by the way, a lack of academic performance or the ability to excel within school doesn't make you black. But what it does do, if you think that does make you black, is that it makes you a racist, right? So it's so funny to me that the Democrats, while they no longer wear those white hooded robes that the KKK would run around in as they terrorize black people, they still find a way to remind us. And
Bro. Oh my God. Shut up. Yo, who is this for, dude? Who is this for? I mean, I know who this is for. This is for the white Republicans. Now listen, this articulate, urban style individual that I would definitely lock my door around is a bright young feller. Okay? Let me tell you. This is one of them good ones. Like, that's the audience for this commentary, okay? Straight up. The audience for this commentary is that guy who has never, ever been, who has never felt safe around black people. Even black people that share the same opinion as him is over here being like, yeah, that fella or that young feller's got he's got a good future ahead of him, okay? Unlike the rest of the urban style individuals I encounter on a daily basis. He is so articulate.
He's big and small that they did used to wear those robes. Apparently, Gavin Newsom's heart still wears that robe because he thinks that being a...
You work for the white grave clown, you lucky Twitch is censoring us black shadows in here, or we would really be roasting his ass. Yeah, I mean, it's, you can't, because Twitch will ban you for saying certain things.
Makes you black. Gavin, you are disgusting in every which way, and this moment from this day will haunt you for a time long to come.
No, it won't. No, it won't. It will 100% not. No. Isn't what he's saying is woke? Yes, Republicans are the greatest purveyors of woke. Hello. Understand that Republicans love weaponizing woke. Reactionaries in general, people to our right, love weaponizing woke to us, okay? Gavin Newsom is objectively a, let's say center left, maybe center right, not center left, center or center right figure. This guy is far right. Of course, he's going to weaponize woke against him. Just like people who are center right or people who are centrist or center left love using woke against people like myself and others that are further to the left than the average person is. Okay? It doesn't work. It's so stupid. I mean, we've experienced for the last week, we've experienced a version of this over and over again. This like sinister deployment of standpoint epistemology in an effort to defend American imperialism, specifically in Cuba, right? Oh, all of the blockades and the invasion and the assassination attempts and the constant crippling of this island for the crime of gaining sovereignty is not the real reason why Cuba is suffering. It's actually because the Cuban regime is a dictatorship and it's communist and it's scary. And I'm a Cuban woman. And if I say this, you have to listen to me. And Miami Cuban is speaking, right? Listen to the Cubans. No, not the Cubans on the island that are impacted from the embargo, from the sanctions, from America intercepting oil shipments going to the island. Listen to the Miami Cubans who want to blow up the island. It's stupid. Okay? Make up your own damn mind. Just asking why you don't cover Ukraine, not even for a bit, but everything else you do. I do cover Ukraine, but there is a lot of other stuff happening as well. Are you planning to cover the bipartisan effort to dismantle Section 230 will allow the destroy leftist internet end to end? Yes. So Mark Lamont Hill says that's not what he said. Putting direct quotes here is dishonest. You left out the words and context. And Mark, just like myself, is not exactly fond of Gavin Newsom. We are, however, fond of the truth. So even if it's advantageous for me to lean into this and be like, see, what now, liberals? I'm not going to do that. Having said that, it is funny that all of the same liberals that were saying like I'm anti-black, I don't care about immigrants or whatever, that absolutely would cynically attack me in the same exact way are also defending Gavin Newsom now because a more right-wing figure has now attacked Gavin Newsom. How strange it is to feign outrage about racism while hurling racial epithets against me. For the record, I don't support Gavin Newsom. I'm not even a Democrat. I just happen to have watched the video before commenting. That said, I have no desire to send an insult back your way. I'll treat you with civility despite how you're engaging me. I only ask that you watch the actual interview before drawing a conclusion. Mark is my GOAT. I love him. He's a legend. He is a much more civil person than me, I'll be honest. So you're saying that Newsom is just elitist and classist, not racist in this instance? I mean, I think he is elitist. I think he's classist and probably racist too, but this instance doesn't imply that he is being the intention here is not him being racist at all. Like, not even a little bit. When you've lost Nicki Minaj, says a Fox News commentator, his way of bonding with black people is to tell him how stupid he is and that he can't read. This means my first read on him was correct. He's been handed so many things. Oh, my God. Oh, God. I hope this is a moment of recognition for a lot of liberals who cynically deploy this kind of identity politics against people like us, because it's, and you're doing bullshit, They're doing it to you now. They're doing it to your guy. So I hope this is a moment of self-awareness, okay? It won't be. I know it won't be. Bro, you can't go from that guy to Nikki in a span of 15 minutes. I can't deal with it. Ha ha ha. Do you want to know the craziest part of this footage that will haunt him forever? He's literally slowing his speech down and talking in a sporadic cadence. He's not just telling them that they're all probably stupid and probably can't read. He's literally slowing down his speech to make them understand the words that are coming out of his mouth as if they're children. That means he literally believes they're slow. He's not just saying it. He didn't misspeak. He believes it. Do you love it? Do you just love it, black people? Also, them. Nicki Minaj is black. Why is she using them when talking about black people? Like all the black people, not just the black people in that room, but just like black people in general, right? It's interesting. I don't know if it was a ChatGPT writing or if he wrote it herself. I don't think she wrote it herself. I'll be honest. Just something interesting that I noticed in the way that she's talking here. Something that happens when you become a Republican. What is this? Nicki Minaj's social media propped up by thousands of bots. Analysis finds. Yeah, unsurprising. There are so many legitimate reasons to dislike Gavin Newsom, but don't fall for fake news. Newsom was talking to a room full of white people. He never mentioned black people. He was talking about his dyslexia, and he made the same exact comment to a white interviewer. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is just his like shtick. Okay, this is his like way of saying I'm just like you. I have a terrible SAT score. Like that's it. He's not saying this specifically to like black people in general. This was his retort back to Sean Hannity, who put the entire who put it like a 3-minute and 27-second compilation. This will be like the main driver of discourse on the right wing circuit for the next 2 days, probably. We should ban any adult who brings up their SAT score, though. I agree. To which he responded when Sean Hannity was like, Gavin Newsom thinks 960 SAT makes him like black Americans. You didn't give a shit about the president of the United States of America posting an 8 video of the former President Obama and calling African nations shitholes, but you're going to call me racist for talking about my lifelong struggle with dyslexia. Spare me the outrage, Sean. This time to Griff, just say, yeah, Gavin Newsom did mean it to be racist. Anything to prevent him from being a convincible candidate in 2028? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to do that. The commitment that I have is to the truth. Okay, it's ridiculous. I don't think I need to do this at all. I'm not going to do this. But I hope it's a wonderful opportunity for a lot of people who cynically deploy this exact same kind of like cynical ass identity politics. Every single liberal content creator that is right now defending Gavin Newsom straight up did this to me for the past week. Okay? For the past week, they were clipping shit out of context to be like, see, Hassan hates black people. Hey, if you're black, don't listen to him, And now they're turning around and, opening up their minds, I guess, to the possibilities that someone can be clipped out of context. After years of trudging through the cesspit that is Twitter, where comments from right-wing posts and debates calling us black people low IQ and genetically inferior, I find it very difficult to square this current wave of sudden regard for racism against black people, which is very clearly a political Trojan horse. Yeah, I mean, it's not even a successful one, to be fair, okay? It's not even a successful one. It's just... like, it's not going to be successful. People are not going to think like, oh, wow, Gavin Newsom is a white supremacist because of this, right? You're right about the Brandonization. This media cycle reminds me of the Biden media cycle on poor kids are just as bright as white kids. Yeah. Well, with Brandon, there's at least a lot more that you can point to showcase that he is actually not exactly a fan of black people, right? We're talking about the architect of the crime bill, which liberals aggressively defended, for the record. We're talking about a guy who eulogized Strom Thurmond, a white supremacist, Strom Thurmond, a guy who actually wrote legislation alongside Strom Thurmond that was horrifying for black Americans. Okay? Like that, to me, is a way better indication of someone's, racial animus than this. There's a certain karmic irony in watching Newsom get eaten up by the very right-wing disinformation machine he's tried so hard to platform and appease. Yeah, bro, they lie. Yep, it's true. Did he talk about Candace Owens saying Israelis are Turks? Oh my God, is she doing the Khazar theory? She's leveling up. Is she saying that Jews are actually Khazar Turks that converted to Judaism? That's what she's saying? Respect. That's why she's the GOAT. Okay, that's why she's at the tippy top of this commentary sphere, and I'm just I'm a Lobie, okay? That's why Candace Owens keeps winning. And we're out here duking it out with people who are cynically telling everyone Hassan is an anti-Semite. Hassan is an anti-black racist. All this shit.
If you haven't seen this yet, get ready. Grab the tea and crumpets because this is, you want to talk about loser media.
Goat is back. Can we get a... Bro. The king of pod is back, baby. Nobody does it like Dan. Ain't nobody does it like Dan Bongino. That's my goat. Woo! He was done with that boring defending files at the highest level of the Department of Justice, okay? Deputy Director of the FBI. Bullshit. He's back where he belongs, behind a microphone.
Potentially of the year, and it's only, what, February? Did you hear this clip of Gavin Newsom? He's talking to a largely black audience. This isn't no fake racist Donald Trump. This sounds like real racist stuff.
I'm just trying to impress upon you.
Yeah, this isn't fake racism like Donald Trump, where he says every black person is low IQ, African countries are actually shitholes, that we don't want black migration, that Haitians are eating cats and dogs, or being prosecuted by the federal government for refusing to rent properties to black people, taking a full page ad in the New York Times demanding the execution of the falsely smeared Central Park 5 teenagers. This isn't about, all of the different ways in which Donald Trump has fomented anti-black racism. Obviously, all of that is fake. All of that is fake. This, on the other hand, this is the real racism. Yeah, depicting Barack and Michelle Obama as apes. None of that fake racism, but the real racism.
I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
Definitely sounds pretty bad. What are you talking about? We just watched him. I guess it sounds bad if you haven't watched him deliver this exact same speech like 3 other times, right? He did this with Dana Bash when this is a part of his book where he's trying to present himself as like a normal guy. I'm just like you. I had my own trials. I'm dyslexic. I can't read. I'm illiterate. Okay? It sounds bad if you assume only black people live in Atlanta. I mean, there is definitely probably more black people in that crowd than Gavin Newsom will ever have, right? It's Atlanta. Even though most of the people that Gavin, Big Gav, are white people, I'm sure there were more black people in that crowd than he ever will. He will ever sit in front of, right? But it doesn't matter. Like, he's not saying it because there's black people in the room. He's not saying that to like identify himself with like black people because he has this like hidden notion that like black people are illiterate or whatever. He's just saying that because he thinks this is a way to appear personable to all Americans. So in any case, I'm a real hater. Okay. I'm a hater for good reason. I'm not going to hate on someone for bad reasons. Okay.
No, your audio's not broken if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. I don't even know how to really respond to that.
God, he's the best, dude. That's why he's the best. Look at that reaction. We have so much to learn from Dan Bongino. I have so much to learn. I yearn to be like Dan one day. Okay? He's the GOAT. That's my guy.
This would ordinarily be the end of the political career of anyone else if they...
Do you live on the planet, Dan? Do you live in the United States of America in the year 2026 of our holy Lord? What the f*** are you talking about? None of this is career ending. Even from a Democratic Party side, you saw Joe Brandon run around and be like, if you only vote for me, you ain't black, Jack. And then he won that election. The fuck are you talking about? This doesn't even reach that level. Oh, it's so awesome.
We're on any other party affiliation other than Democrat, talking to a group of black voters and saying, like, I'm dumb like you guys or something? This isn't.
Dan, you were the deputy director of the FBI, big dog. You saw that the government is currently run by elite files. What the are you talking